Hi there, it's Ernest from TripAstute. In this video, we're reviewing the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 and determining whether it's worth getting for your next trip. We recently did a video on whether you need a better travel camera. In that video, I suggested checking out Gimbals as they seem like a great way to improve the stability of your videos. I've been really impressed with the 3-axis gimbal stabilization found on my DJI Mavic Air Drone, so I thought I'd try out the latest mobile phone gimbal called the Osmo Mobile 2 that was just released in January 2018. The DJI Osmo Mobile 2 is the second generation of their mobile phone handheld gimbal, and it's actually a lot cheaper too. The original used to run for $299, while the new model costs only $129 US. That's a pretty significant difference in price. Most of that comes from DJI's switch from an all-metal design to a plastic build. However, the Osmo Mobile 2 also has some new capabilities that were not found in the original model, like the ability to orient the phone in portrait mode rather than just landscape. Before I get into what I like and dislike about the Osmo Mobile 2, I do want to add the caveat that this is not a comprehensive tech review, but one that is geared more for the traveler. If you want to see every feature and capability, then you'll want to check out some of the great reviews posted by other tech reviewers on YouTube. I've included some of my favorite ones below. So, let's start with what I like about the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. Well, to start, I think the build quality seems to be solid. Even though the body is plastic, it still feels substantial. And as with other DJI products, it seems very well built and seems like it would survive the wear and tear that would occur during travel. Another thing that I like is the battery and charging capabilities. The battery is rated to last 15 hours. Though even more interesting is the fact that you can charge your mobile phone in the event that you need additional power. In that case, the Osmo Mobile 2 can function like a spare battery charger. And on the flip side, if you need to charge your Osmo Mobile 2 while away from a plug, you can use a portable battery charger. The Osmo Mobile 2 also has some awesome modes and features. The Active Track feature allows you to track a subject, and from my casual testing, seems to work pretty well. The gimbal also has a motion lapse mode, which allows you to capture motion time lapses. This is an awesome feature and can help take normal time lapses to the next level. So the Osmo Mobile 2 sounds great, right? Well, there are some serious issues. First off, I knew going in that the original Osmo Mobile was known to have issues with jittery video, particularly with mobile phones that have optical image stabilization or OIS that can't be locked or disabled. I don't know the technical ins and outs, but essentially the camera's OIS and the gimbal are in conflict when it comes to stabilizing the video, which causes this weird jittery effect. Unfortunately, this is still an issue with the Osmo Mobile 2. What makes it even more weird is that it seems to be more present when capturing video using the DJI Go app. If you look at the footage, you'll notice that the video seems to jitter whenever I take a step. However, when I use the native Apple camera app, then you'll see that the video seems smoother, though not completely free of the jitter. You'll also notice that when I use a front-facing camera, the video is much smoother. This is because the front camera doesn't have OIS, which means that the gimbal is able to do its job of stabilizing the movement and vibration. I also did a side-by-side with the DJI Go app and the native camera app while using the Osmo Mobile 2, and I honestly think that the native app looks better, which is just strange since the DJI app is supposed to be optimized for the gimbal. The differences are less apparent when using the front-facing camera. This makes sense since the front camera doesn't have OIS. So if your primary use of the Osmo Mobile 2 is more vlogging or selfies, this might still be a viable option for you. The other thing that concerns me with the Osmo Mobile 2 is its size and clunkiness when traveling. I honestly didn't expect this to be an issue, but I couldn't figure out a good way to carry it while I was walking around the LA Travel and Adventure Show. With a normal camera, I can just have it strapped to my body. However, I think you would need some kind of holster in order to carry the gimbal hands-free, which is something to consider when traveling, especially when you need to sign receipts or carry items. Calibrating the gimbal with my phone was also another annoyance with the Osmo Mobile 2. While I understand why I have to do it, I didn't realize that I have to do it throughout the day, especially after holding the gimbal under my arms. It might not seem like a big deal, but I feel like at least half of the videos and photos that I capture when traveling are spontaneous, and I don't know if I would be able to use the Osmo Mobile as quickly during those kinds of situations. Lastly, using your phone while in the gimbal is cumbersome. I realize that if I'm placing the phone in the Osmo Mobile 2, I'm going to use it primarily as a camera, but when traveling, I use my phone all the time to get maps, information, or stay in contact. What I didn't anticipate was the difficulty of having to pull out the phone each time I needed to use it, and even using it while still in the gimbal. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to return my Osmo Mobile 2. For me, the big deal breaker was the jittery video. From what I understand, it's not DJI's fault, since it's more of an issue with the OIS not being lockable on certain phones. However, I do think that it would be better for DJI to put a label on the box or a note on the website letting folks know of the issue. It might be something that can be addressed in a future app update, but for now, it's enough of an issue for me not to recommend the unit. Personally, I would rather carry another camera that isn't as cumbersome. Cameras like my Canon G7X have pretty good in-body stabilization, though you have to learn to walk like a ninja. I'm also a bit more picky about my video, so you might not care as much about the jitter, which can probably be smoothed out using video editing software. If you do decide that the Osmo Mobile 2 is right for you, I recommend watching the DJI support videos on setting up the device. I made the mistake of relying on the instruction manual and didn't quite get the calibration right. After watching the video, it made a lot more sense and I was able to properly calibrate the gimbal. Do you have any experience with the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 or any other gimbal? If so, I'd love to hear how you carry them when traveling and whether you find them to be an essential part of your travel camera gear. I've included links to some of the products shown in this video. TripSuit does get a percentage if you use our links. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps us to continue building content for this channel. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Also, sign up for our newsletter on our website for travel articles, updates, and giveaways, like our 2,000 subscriber giveaway that ends this week. Until next time, travel safe, travel smart.